Okay, so we are talking about solar off-grid, and as you can see here, this charge controller will do 35 amps, 40 amps, and 60 amps. Okay, so you go 24 volt, 12 volt, 48 volts DC current. And it tells you on this particular model, this is the status for what it's doing. Charge control mode, battery charge, load control, battery discharge. I can't read it, I can't see it, but equalization, stabilizing. It basically floats your batteries and maintains them so you get the proper length of time and usage out of your batteries. So before we go any further, let's like, subscribe. I'm an aspiring musician, among other things. But hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you have a question, go ahead and ask. If I can answer it, I will. And everything, all the content in this video are raw. I don't have any expensive software to edit any of my videos or anything. So if I do make a mistake, I will correct it in the following video. And there's going to be a few more videos of this here series of solar. And this particular unit here is, I'm going to talk about off-grid. Now, I don't have this set up yet. We moved here a while ago, but I took this apart from my last house that I lived at. And I saved the components, and I thought, what better way to explain something than why not just put the components out there and show you what you need. Now, this may not be professional. This may not be the way you want to approach it. This is just one person's idea. It's my idea, how I did it, and I copied it off of several other people on the internet. There's a lot of ways to do this. There's a lot of expensive ways to do it, and there's a lot of inexpensive ways, and there's probably a lot of bad ways to do it. This is how I did it, and it worked for me, and I ran my pellet stove, I ran my freezer, and a bunch of lights and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I did not have a big, huge battery bank, and I didn't have a huge solar collection system, okay? And that's key to this whole thing, all right? So I'm going to show you right here just a few components. The one component that I showed you is a controller. I bought that on eBay, just a plug for eBay. I'm not getting anything from eBay. I'm not getting anything from anybody. I'm not sponsored by anybody, and that's why I ask if you could like, subscribe. It helped me out a lot. I do a lot of different things: tractors, Cummins diesel, music. I love playing my guitar. I'm not the best, but like, subscribe helps me out. I do the same for you. So without further ado, let's get into this here. So to obviously to make power, you've got to have solar panels. Okay. Now I'm going to plug these guys again. I'm not getting anything from them. I haven't asked for anything, and I'm not looking for anything. I'm just trying to help somebody out, and that's why I ask that you subscribe, like, leave a comment. Hit the thumbs up, you know. You need solar panels. This is a good brand solar panel. I like these. They're good. They're Renology. And you get, this is for mounting it on an RV. Now, obviously, if you're going to do it for off-grid, you probably wouldn't want to do that. But they do have other setups. They have whole entire kits that you can buy on their website. And it's Renology, R-E-N-O-G-Y. They have a lot of things on their kits, the whole 9 yards. And they give you a pamphlet in the solar panel box that it comes in, with all the different arrays of setting these things up and hooking them up. And it's not rocket science. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. if you have some common sense, you can do it. And what I'm going to show you here today is this is basics. This is not the whole deal. This is just components that we're talking about. And the first component is the solar panel, your charge controller, and then the inverter. This is a AIM. This is a 3,000 watt inverter I bought. Now, you're probably wondering, how the heck do you get the power from the AIM's inverter to that? Because that's a circuit breaker box. And like I said earlier in some of my other videos, the key to all of this is keeping the length of the wire as short as you can keep it, okay? You need circuit breakers in here, you need shutoffs in here to shut it off so you can maintain the whole system. This is only the components, some of the components that you will need. And this is what I used on my off-grid setup in my home, all right? So on this charge controller, you can see it's got pretty big lugs on here. And that's where your battery is going to get connected to. You're going to hook aught gauge wire, the biggest power wire you can get, and you're going to keep it as short as you can get it, right directly to your battery bank, whether that's 12 volt, 24 volt, or 48 volt, series, or in parallel. Okay, you're going to have to Google all that information and figure out how you want to make your battery bank and how big you want to make your battery bank. Okay, not all charge controllers are alike. This is a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. This is an AIMS. I bought this quite a while ago. It's a pretty good inverter. It works really well for me. So how do you get the power out of here? Well, that's a good question. Let's see if I can get this off. Okay. The legs from that box there attached to this here. You don't plug them in here. You can plug extension cords into here. But you basically have to be able to run that, and that's a number 8 gauge wire right there. And you feed it into here and you hook it up for the way this is labeled here. And in your book, when you get this, you'll get an instruction book, and it should show you how to wire it up. And if you don't know how to wire this up, I suggest that you call your local electrician or somebody who has done solar power before, because you can get electrocuted, you can get killed, you can get very seriously hurt by messing with this stuff. It's not a game. This is 3,000 watts. There's a lot of power there, and when I'm feeding it into this breaker box, I'm going to be making 110 volts, and then I'm going to be running my refrigerator, my pellet stove, my wood stove, my dehumidifier, whatever it is that my battery bank and solar collection setup will handle. The key components are the inverter. You need a outlet box. You need a charge controller that's going to work. And you need a large set of solar panels. And you need a large battery bank, which I do not have here. Okay? So this is one way that you can get the power off of this inverter to the 110. Now, they do make these inverters with a outlet here that is just like this. And you feed these wires inside this box, and you wire it up, hardwire inside. This is not a hardwire setup. This is how this one came. When I bought this, everything was so expensive when I first got into this. A lot of the things have come down in price. Now you can buy whole complete kits. It's really changed a lot. And this inverter, I'm still going to use it. I'm going to use it this way. I will be limited because of the way it is wired onto. This is not hardwired. This is just it's just one way to get 110 volts. I mean, I wouldn't be able to run anything probably really serious off of this. I'd have to look back, like I say, I'd have to look back in this manual and see exactly what I could run off of this. But when I had this set up in my other home, I ran a pellet stove, continuous day and night, all day, all night. Was my only source of heat. I ran a refrigerator, freezer off of it, 24 hours. I had 12-volt lights for my dogs for when I let them out. I'd turn them on, let them go out. I'd keep an eye on with my lights on. And I had just regular LED lights inside my basement that I had wired up to this. And like I said, you can put an extension cord in there. When you're not using something else, you can use something else and power something else. You know, whether it be an electric drill or a saw or whatever. It's all based on the size solar panel you run and the battery bank you run. And the gauge wire that you use is key. This here is only gauge. This is only 4. This is number 4 wire. But at the same time, like I'm saying, I was not running AC units or anything like that off of my solar grid. So there you go. You do need a pure sine inverter. This is a 3000 watt, and the connections on them are different. It does make a difference. This just happens to have both. When I bought all this stuff was like probably 10 years ago, and everything's changed a lot since then. I got this 10 years ago. They still do the job. They still work. And for off-grid, you know, cabin or your tiny home, whatever you got, this would probably work for you. You just have to have the proper battery bank and read the instructions. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Have somebody else that's qualified to do it. This is just how I did it. I'm not telling you how to do this. So you have to work within your means, not my means. Okay? So like, subscribe, and have a good day, good people. Adios.